Alright, what up, tube? Happy 4th. Off today, so figured I'd come in here, start working on the Chevelle. Started blocking out the trunk, and I forgot that my guy told me that the quarters, because these are repop quarters and they're not like original quarters, they're not going to fit as well as I would probably want them to. So he got it to fit as close as possible. But if you can see, we still have some gapping. I don't like the gapping the way it is now. I think we can get it tighter. Same thing here. You see how it practically gets tighter up here, but then it doesn't get as tight coming down here. It opens up. This one over here is pretty much a straight shot gap. It's the most he can get it lined up. So what I'm going to do is this rod here, obviously I'll take the rust off of it, but the goal is to weld a piece of rod in here and create my lines with metal, versus some people, I've seen it before, where they will take like fiberglass filler to create their lines. The issue is, this is an area where it's gonna get a lot of touching, slamming it is gonna be very flimsy right in here. So you wanna make sure you got metal in. So the goal is to cut out this round stock and weld on the top end and the bottom end right here on the edge. Just weld it all the way through, and then go with angle grinder and my grinding wheel and grind off the excess and make it kind of straight, or make it straight, using tape as my line as far as how much of a gap I want. So like I said, I started blocking it out, and I got to a point where I started looking at the size and I was like, damn, I forgot. So I'm gonna hold off on blocking, because I'm gonna end up having to reblock this whole thing, and get this all corrected. The bottom here is not an issue, and I'm not gonna want to touch that until I start to suck the bumpers in and all that, which will be later down the road. But I just want to make sure that at least this gap is done, stuff done. So just stay tuned, and I'll bring you some more footage of that. All right, tube, back at you. Just got some tack welds in there, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing. So you can see, pretty much just follow the whole contour with the rod. It has some surface rust on it, so obviously I took the surface rust off and just put some spot welds in there. And now I'm basically going to stitch weld, connect them all. And once I get that done, I'll get the bottom and then grind everything back, and then get an idea of how wide I want my gap. And then once I set my gap, put some tape there, take the angle grinder, grind all that down to the tape, and that should give me that straight line that I'm looking for, straight gap, and then I'll do the other side as well. So yeah, just stay tuned, and I'll keep on bringing you some of this footage. All right, tube, so finish welding the top part up. As you can see, the gap shrinks considerably. Now it's just a matter of grinding that down, weld the backhand side, grinding that down, and then figuring out how wide I want my panel to be, my gap to be. Grinding that down, then body working everything back in, then get the other side. So yeah, this is it. Stay tuned, I'll come at you. All right, tube, so you can see how much that gap closed up. And I gotta do the backhand side, weld the backhand side in. Before I do that, I want to get this side done. You can see how big of a gap I have over here. So I want to get this side done first, but before I do the backside on this, I want to get that done because what I'm going to do is it's put together where I want it to be. So I'm going to drill a pilot hole here, and then probably like one off to this side and one off to that side, and then use that as my hanging points when I put it back on, because when I weld the bottom half, I want to take the whole trunk off and weld it while it's off, get that all metal finished up under, and then put it back on the car. But I want to make sure that it's lined up so I don't have any issues with trying to realign anything. So today my goal is to get the top hand done on this, drill the holes, and then at least put some weld on the backhand side of these and straighten them out. If you look, this is pretty spot on to where I want it to be as far as gapping is concerned. When it came from the factory, I don't believe they were really focused on gapping back in '72. So the goal is to tighten up the gaps, make it look real nice, so when people look at it, it looks like a high quality build, because it's, you know, I got a lot of money wrapped up into this. So yeah, just stay tuned and I'll get back at you. Alright, tube, so I got the other side tacked on. Well, I got the whole top part welded in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this side as my guide. My goal is to get 1/8 of an inch on this side and that side for a gap, so it's all symmetrical prior to me taking off and welding the backhand side. So what I did was I just got some reference points. These are going to be my reference points, and then I'm going to take measurements from this outer lip to whatever 1/8 of an inch is right here, and all of these different points. Make sure that it's all 1/8 of an inch. If I need to adjust the tape, I'll adjust the tape. And then once I get a straight line and everything is good, I measure it like 3-4 times. Then basically just grind down this side to get that 1/8 of an inch. I'll do the same thing on the other side. And earlier I showed that this over here it was out and it kind of tapered down to an open. So basically I closed up this over here, but now this has an overlap. So basically what I'm gonna do is the same thing. Find my 1/8 of an inch on this side, sand all of this back, grind all of this back to 1/8 of an inch with my tape, and then it should be even gaps all the way around. Stay tuned and I'll come back at you. Alright, what up, tube? Back at you. Got this side all hooked up. We gapped out 1/8 of an inch all the way through. Measured it all the way through. 1/8 of an inch from bottom all the way to the top. And what I need to do is roll it. I'll roll it a little bit later, but so it has kind of like that rolled contour. So that's good, gapped all the way around. We're good all the way through. I have a little piece of the rod sticking here, so I'm going to roll that over to follow that line. And then this here is, I haven't rolled it. I mean, I haven't taken anything off yet or measured out. So I'm going to measure my 1/8 of an inch, put my tape, grind down to the edge of that tape. That should give me my 1/8 of an inch on this side, and it should be symmetrical all the way around. So then I'll just take everything off, get my pilot holes, so I know where to realign it at, make lining it up much more easier. Put those in, take the back off, or take the trunk off, weld the back end of it, and then grind that down, roll that back over, and my gap should be A1. So just stay tuned, tube. I'm gonna get this all finished up and bring you some more of that footage when it's done. Alright, what up, tube? Coming back at you. Got the hood off. I did forget to put my markers in. So So I'm gonna have to realign the hood, the trunk. That ain't a big deal, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put weld all through here, weld this side, and then I'm gonna blend around the circle right here, this radius on both sides. And then I'm also gonna grind all this down flush, and we should be good to go. So yeah, just stay tuned. This is where I'm at. I get this all done today, and then start putting some mud on it probably tomorrow or something. But yeah, just stay tuned too. I'll get at you. All right, too. Pack it up tonight. For the most part, got majority of the welds grinded down. I'm gonna go back over it. My grinding disc kind of went down, and when I went to go buy some more the other day, they were out. So I have to try to go grab some tomorrow after work. But yeah, I got it all together. I'm gonna turn some of the corners. Started turning this corner over here a little bit. So I'll continue to just work on this, and then come over here with some fiberglass filler right here just to smooth that all out, and then get the rest of this paint off, and then seam seal the edges. Do a kind of difficult to see up under there, but do some fiberglass filler just on the edges where my welds are, just so I know that they're waterproof, just in case I miss some areas. And then body work it, put it back on, refit it, and then off to the next thing. So after this, my thoughts is to finish up putting the bulkhead in that I started, but didn't finish. So I'm gonna finish putting my bulkhead in, and then go ahead and finish starting on some other stuff. So yeah, just stay tuned too. I'm gonna get at y'all, man. I'm gonna pack it up. Been in here for a few hours, so I'll get at y'all. Y'all be easy.